Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Bad Milo. Embrace your inner demon.
Directed by Jacob Vaughan, starring Ken Marino, Gillian Jacobs, Peter Stormare, and Patrick Warburton. This movie is about Duncan, a man who has something growing inside of him. It's a little alien baby thing. This alien thing that is now named Milo comes out and starts killing people. The unfortunate thing is Duncan has just gotten a promotion at his work where he has to lay people off.
I've never fired anybody before in my life.
It's easy, you'll love it. I'm so glad you're on board.
His wife's trying to get pregnant, and a bunch of other stresses are introduced into his life. This is actually a recommendation from Mr. Awesome over on our Patreon. Bad Milo is one of those movies that we saw, I think it was on Netflix, like basically the day we started Bloodbath and Beyond. I'm like, no, we're not reviewing this one because it's a thing that comes out of this guy's ass. I don't like shit humor. No. It's one of those movies that you've seen the poster for 1,000 times and we just have avoided it because we thought it was going to be more gross than it actually was. So thank you, Mr. Awesome, for the recommendation. Now, what do we like?
I loved Milo. The whole look, the design, the idea. I thought it was hilarious. He's adorable. He looks a little bit like the baby from the show Dinosaurs. I just loved the whole puppeteering, the design, and the fact that Milo wasn't like a piece of poo coming out to kill.
Right. So that was one of the big hesitations when watching this movie. It's like, oh shit, what are we getting into? Like, is this like Monster? Because fuck. Thankfully, it's not as weird. Yes, of course, there's going to be fart sounds and stuff. And the idea of this thing living inside of a man's asshole is an odd choice for a story. But I think it worked, to be honest. Like, I wasn't ever like really grossed out, even though there's like, he's constantly holding his stomach and has to run to the washroom and shit. Because there's a purpose. Milo just wants to get out, and he's just such a cute little guy. He doesn't look like poop, but he does look kind of weird. He's all like sweaty and slimy all the time.
But you gotta be thankful that he's all like moist and stuff.
Right,
because
he's all lubed up.
He's all lubed up. If you were Duncan.
I know, I'm ready for re-entry. Lube him.
I'm sure he knows how to slip into you again. What do you think? It's too fucking big.
Duncan was excellent as well. I really enjoyed his character because that is just a weird situation to deal with. He almost has this like innocent look to him. He's kind of like a Brendan Fraser kind of personality where he's fairly tame but can freak out when the time is right. But the fact that he has all these confrontations with Patrick Warburton from Rules of Engagement.
I don't want tough. I want nice. I want gentle.
Oh.
I want you.
Their dialogue between each other is great. His wife is Britta from Community, who also was great. It's a pretty solid cast, and I loved all of the interactions between them.
This film definitely had great actors in it. We even had a Stephen Root cameo. If you guys don't know what it is, Office Space is probably a good one. He was even in Get Out, so like he's not a stranger to horror.
We also had Peter Stormare. Now, this guy I recognized immediately because he's playing the exact same role as he did in Until Dawn. He was my therapist who steered me in the wrong directions 90% of the time, the son of a bitch. But in this one, he was just trying to help Duncan out, you know, soothe him. He kind of knew about this anus demon thing from ancient lore. He had a big book, an ancient book that let him know, okay, this is how you deal with it, which is good.
I like that they didn't overcomplicate this story. They knew what the situation was. They didn't put the focus on the fact that he had to run to the washroom. The focus was more on Duncan's stress level. Surprisingly, the potty humor isn't really there. You have one or two situations where they exploit the idea that it's coming out of his butt. Other than that, it all made sense, and it just fit for what was going on.
Yes, in the context of the film, it made sense. It certainly didn't make a lick of sense, though. Ugh, Ella, don't use the word lick when you're talking about ass demons.
Get that ATM moment.
Get Dieter Laser in here and do a collab with Bad Milo. The comedy is really well done. I was laughing for most of this movie because of the great cast. Like, most of them are comedians anyway, and just they are improvising certain lines. Like Kumail Nanjiani just fucking, he was just ad-libbing everything that he said, and it was hysterical.
Duncan,
Yeah,
you can call me Dad or Daddy.
no need to.
Papa.
Bobby, it's good with me.
You know what? Don't call me Daddy. That's reserved for somebody else.
This is very much more leaning towards like the comedy aspect, and I'm glad that they went that route, considering the subject matter.
Yeah, I mean, when you're seeing Patrick Warburton on screen, you can't really take him serious. Between his facial reactions or just like doing a little skip in the background, it's just pretty funny. Everyone has great chemistry on screen and they play off of each other, and the jokes are tasteful. I think that's what's important about this film is it shouldn't come off as a tasteful style of humor, but it does.
Now, what didn't we like?
From the horror side of things, this film does have moments where you get on-screen kills, and there is a lot of like a creature killing humans, but there's not that on-screen impact. I think we had like one good Milo attack throughout the entire film, and that's kind of disappointing because you can see how good they can use Milo in every situation, that you want to see Milo kill all the people that are stressing Duncan out.
There's a bit of a pacing issue for me because I really enjoyed about 80% of this movie, and the last little bit started getting a bit draining, and I don't know why. I think it was because like Duncan's going to like meet his dad and do some things, and I don't know, I just kind of got a little bit bored.
Yeah, the pacing isn't the best. It has you interested right off the bat, but at the same time, I do not like movies where they open with the conclusion. You know, the movie starts off with Duncan running into a house, and then it goes like a few days earlier. So now you're just waiting for that moment. And I rather not have it because it doesn't matter. It doesn't make the movie great, but it just kind of has you waiting for that moment to happen. And it just throws the whole pacing off.
Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Bad Milo was actually really surprising to me. I thought it was going to be just shit humor, and I've been thrown off for several years and avoiding it. But it was actually really fun. I didn't know that it had the cast because I didn't look into it. I didn't want to know anything about it. I heard ass demon, no thanks. But he's actually a really great little man, or whatever the hell he is. Little Milo, he's awesome. He's such a really well done puppet. The cast is hilarious. All of the interactions are genuine and funny, and it's just a completely unique concept. Albeit a bit out there, it worked. I don't know how, but it definitely did, and I'd love to see a Bad Milo too. There are some pacing issues, but it's certainly a movie that I would recommend, so I'm gonna give this 3.5 therapy feathers out of 5.
This film is actually one that I've wanted to check out for a while because I do like the creature feature style of movies, especially if it's going to be an adorable puppet that kills. And this film had that. The comedy is not what you think it would be, but it comes off as natural and it makes it really hilarious. We got a great cast. Love Patrick Warburton. Love Stephen Root. Ken Marino does a fantastic job in this film. He's believable. You feel for him. And it's just a lot of fun. This film does suffer with its pacing issues, and I would have liked to see more on-screen kills because they gave us a taste, and I feel if you're gonna do that, you might as well do it throughout the entire film. But that doesn't take away from this film. It's a good time, and I do recommend it for people. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 3.5 sock puppet therapy out of 5.
So, what's for dinner? Kung Pao chicken. But that upsets my stomach.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. And if you want the opportunity to recommend a movie for us to review, definitely check out the Patreon rewards, link in the description. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.